Let's be real. You've been running in circles for someone who barely cares, bending over backward, twisting yourself into someone you're not, hoping, just hoping, that they'll notice, that they'll finally see your worth. But let me tell you, they won't. They just won't. Think about it. Who put them up so high? Who made them so important? Who turned them into the one thing you keep chasing? It wasn't them. It was you. You handed them all that power, and now you're waiting for something that's never coming. Here's the truth, plain and simple. You're not a priority to them. And they know they don't have to try because you're always there, always available. And guess what? The harder you try, the less they care. The more you chase, the faster they pull away. They don't respect you because, deep down, you're not respecting yourself. That's the raw truth. But today, it stops. Today, you're done. You're done chasing, done begging, done lowering yourself. Today, you pull back your energy, you stop. You watch what happens when you finally put yourself first. Because here's the thing, this isn't about getting them to notice you. This is about you stepping into your own power. They've been playing you, keeping you hanging on. But the moment you stop chasing, the moment you stop being the puppet on their string, that's when it all changes. That's when you change. You've been believing that their approval, their attention, would make everything right. But that's a lie. Today, you break that lie. You stop waiting, stop chasing, stop running after people who can't see your value, and you let them feel the empty space where you used to be. Because trust me, when you finally back off, that's when they'll start seeing what they lost. Stay with me here. This isn't just another video. This is a wake-up call. This is where you take your life back. If you're ready to step into your power, drop everything and hit that like button. Let's dig deep and learn what happens when you stop chasing and start living. But before we dive in, here's a challenge for you. Take control. Decide right now that you're done bending for other people's approval. Say it with me. I control my story. Say it again. Let that sink in. Write it in the comments if you're ready to stand tall. Doesn't matter if they see it or not, because this isn't about them. This is about you taking back control. This is about you. So, say it loud. I control my story. And with that energy, let's get started. All right, let's cut right to the core here. This is the heart of the video. I need your full attention right now. If you're ready to finally take control, stop whatever else you're doing and listen up. You've gotten this far. You've decided you're done chasing, done begging, done waiting on someone else to give you value. You've walked away. You've backed off. Maybe even started focusing on someone new. You're thinking, okay, now they'll see my worth. Now they'll come back. You're expecting some magical turnaround where suddenly they're chasing after you, finally realizing what they lost. Let me stop you right there. That's a fairy tale, a trap. There's no magic in this. They don't come back just because you stopped chasing. They don't see your worth just because you're gone. It doesn't work like that. And waiting for that moment, it's still giving away your power. You're still sitting there, waiting on their decision. You're still letting them control you, sitting around in some waiting room, hoping they'll finally call your number. Nothing has changed if you're still waiting for them. Here's the real shift. Stop waiting. Stop sitting around hoping for some light bulb moment where they see your worth. You think walking away means they'll come running back. No. If you're still craving their validation, if you're still hoping they'll notice you, then they still have the power. You're still a passenger in their story. No. This isn't about just stopping the chase. It's about owning your life so fully that they see you thriving without them. They start to realize they weren't the center of your world, and that's when the tables turn. You don't stop running to make them notice. You stop running to start living. When they see you in full control, living without a second thought of them, that's when they realize what they lost. So here's the key. Don't just sit back and hope for a reaction. Take powerful action. Build a life that speaks for itself. A life that doesn't need them to feel complete. And if they come back, it'll be because they see you standing tall, doing just fine, maybe even better, without them. Stick with me for the next part, where we break down exactly how to do this. If this is hitting home, hit that like button to let me know and help spread this message. Let's dive right into the steps and get you living on your terms. Number 1. Hide your desperation. Listen up. The second you stop chasing, you've got to do something critical. Hide your desperation. Why? Because desperation is like a giant flashing sign that screams, "I need you." And if they can sense it, game over. If they even smell that you're still craving their attention, they'll keep pulling away, taking you for granted. So, hiding desperation is the bedrock of everything we're about to build. Desperation is sneaky. It leaks out in ways you don't even realize. It's in the way you double-check if they saw your message, how you wait around for any hint of attention. It's that voice in your head saying, "Are they thinking about me?" every time you hear a notification. This energy, this need, is what drives them away. People can sense it, and if they sense it, you've handed them all the power. If you want to flip the script, you've got to cut that vibe out. They shouldn't feel like you're waiting by the phone, hoping for any scrap they throw your way. When they reach out, don't respond instantly. Keep it cool, keep it calm. You are in control. No more needy energy. You're showing them, without saying a single word, that you are no longer desperate for their approval. They're no longer at the center of your world. Let me tell you, this will be hard. Desperation will try to sneak back in. Your mind will tell you, if I don't show them I care, they'll forget me. But hear this. They won't. In fact, the less you act like you need them, the more they'll start thinking, what's going on? Why aren't they reacting? They'll feel the shift. They'll start missing the old you, the one who was always waiting around. And that's when they'll start chasing. So when it gets tough, hold on to this affirmation. I control my emotions. Say it, believe it, own it. Because here's the truth. You can't control their actions, but you can control yours. You control how much energy you give, and right now, you're pulling that energy back. Desperation is dead weight, dragging you down. It's time to let it go. When you feel the urge to reach out, remind yourself, you deserve to be valued for who you are, not for how much you chase. You're not here to beg for attention or validation. You're here to build a life so full, so vibrant, that people are naturally drawn to be a part of it. And this isn't about being fake. This is about protecting your peace, choosing yourself over needing anyone else's approval. Hiding desperation means you are stepping fully into your own worth, owning every ounce of it. This is your life. It's about you now. One last thing. None of this will stick if you don't believe it. If deep down you're still hoping for their approval, it'll show. So make a decision right now to stop living for anyone else's validation. Hide that desperation. Focus on building you. And when they come back, and trust me, they will, you'll be in a place where you don't even need them anymore. That's when you've won. Say it with me. I control my emotions. Write it in the comments. Let everyone know where you stand. You're done running after anyone, and you're done waiting for someone else to tell you your worth. You're in control now, and hiding your desperation is just the beginning. Stay with me, because this transformation is only getting started. Real power, it's coming next. Number 2, create uncertainty. Now that you've hidden your desperation, it's time to up the game. The next step? Create uncertainty. This step is a game changer, and here's why. People crave what they can't fully understand or control. They love certainty, predictability. They want to know what you're going to do, how you'll react. But when you introduce a little bit of mystery, you throw them off balance, and suddenly they're intrigued. They're hooked. And guess what? They can't stop thinking about you. When you create uncertainty, you make them question everything. The old, predictable you. The one who was always available, always chasing, always bending over backward. That person is gone. They thought they had you all figured out, thought they knew exactly how you'd respond. But now, things are different. You're not so easy to read anymore, and that unpredictability will keep them wondering, second-guessing, and looking over their shoulder just to see where they stand with you. Here's the truth. People only feel the need to keep you close when they don't know for sure if they've got you. If you're predictable, you're safe, you're boring. But when you create uncertainty, that's when you become interesting. That's when they start thinking about you when you're not there, questioning if you're still interested, wondering if they're losing you. You're turning the tables here, and they won't know what hit them. So how do you create uncertainty? Start by becoming less predictable. If you're always the one who responds right away, who's always available, who they can always count on for an immediate answer, stop. Don't respond right away. Don't always be there when they expect you. Let them feel the space of your absence. Show them that you have a life beyond them and that your time is valuable. If they text you, give it some time before you reply. If they call you, don't answer on the first ring. Let them see that you're not just waiting around for their attention. When they finally do hear from you, keep it light, keep it cool. Don't rush to fill the silence. Let them fill in the gaps. Let them wonder where you are, what you're up to. When they don't know, that's when they start to crave your presence. Creating uncertainty also means you're not just an open book anymore. You don't have to share every detail of your life or explain every move you make. Leave a little room for mystery. If they ask what you're up to, you don't need to give them the full rundown. A simple, just keeping busy or doing my own thing is enough. They don't need to know everything, and by holding back, you're making it clear that your world doesn't revolve around them. Here's another trick. Keep them on their toes by changing up your patterns. If they're used to seeing you every day, pull back a bit. If you're usually the one to initiate plans, stop. Let them wonder why. Let them feel the uncertainty of not knowing when they'll see you or hear from you again. This isn't about playing games. It's about showing them that you're not going to keep making yourself available on their terms. You have your own rhythm now, and they'll have to work to fit into it. Creating uncertainty is especially powerful if you're trying to attract someone new. When they can't quite figure you out, when they're not sure where they stand, it builds tension. It makes them curious. It makes them want to get closer to crack the code. If they feel like they've already got you figured out, there's no reason for them to make any extra effort. But when they don't know exactly what you're thinking, when they're not sure if you're fully interested or if you've got other options, that's when they'll put in the work to win your attention. People love a challenge, and you're becoming one. Now, you might feel tempted to break the uncertainty by reaching out, by explaining yourself, or by reassuring them. Don't. When you keep them wondering, you're creating space for them to come to you. They'll start feeling that void, that lack of predictability, and that's what will make them miss you. That's what will make them wonder if they should be doing more, trying harder. Silence is powerful, and sometimes saying nothing speaks volumes. And here's the kicker. If they ever ask you directly, "Why are you acting different?" keep it cool. You don't owe them an explanation. If they notice the change, good. Let them sit with it. If they press, you can give them something simple like, "I've just been focusing on me," or "I've got a lot going on." Let them draw their own conclusions. This isn't about proving anything to them. It's about showing them, through your actions, that you're not playing by their rules anymore. Remember, creating uncertainty isn't about being distant or disinterested. It's about protecting your time, energy, and peace. It's about showing them that your life is full, that you're busy living, and that they aren't at the center of your universe. You're not ignoring them. You're just not revolving around them anymore. What if they pull away even more? Here's the truth. If they walk away just because you're not chasing, then they were never truly invested in the first place. Real interest doesn't vanish when you introduce a little mystery. If anything, it should draw them in even closer. People who care about you will step up when they feel uncertainty. They won't back off. They'll work to earn their place in your life because they realize they don't have you wrapped around their finger. The temptation to end the uncertainty will be strong. You'll feel the urge to reach out, to clarify, to ease the tension. But that's when you hold firm. Remind yourself that creating uncertainty isn't about pushing them away. It's about shifting the dynamic. It's about making them realize you're not just some predictable fixture in their life. You're your own person, and you've got standards, boundaries, and a life that doesn't revolve around their attention. Say this affirmation: I am unpredictable. Repeat it, believe it, write it down. You are worth the chase, worth the attention, worth the mystery. You're not easily defined, and you're certainly not going to live on anyone else's terms. So, embrace the uncertainty. Let them wonder. Let them question. Let them feel that they don't have you all figured out. And watch how they start stepping up, how they start putting in the work, because now you're a challenge, a prize that doesn't come easy. And that, my friend, is how you create real, lasting attraction. Stay with me. This is only step 2. The transformation is just beginning, and the best is yet to come. Number 3. Reclaim your time. Listen carefully. Reclaiming your time is the most powerful step you can take. This is where you stop putting them first and start putting you first. Right now, you're probably giving away your time without even realizing it. You're waiting for them to call, waiting for a text, holding back on your own plans just to keep your schedule open for them. But today, that stops. Today, you're done handing over your life to people who don't respect it. You're done waiting. You're reclaiming your time. Think of time as a currency. You only have so much, and every second you give away is a second you can't get back. Imagine yourself just handing over stacks of your own energy and focus, hoping they'll see it, hoping they'll appreciate it. But why? Ask yourself, when was the last time they truly valued your time? Probably never. That's because they're not the ones paying for it. You are. They're not giving anything up. It's all on you. So, it's time to change that. Here's what reclaiming your time looks like. Stop making them the priority. Every time you rush to respond, every time you rearrange your day to fit theirs, you're putting them above yourself. You're sending the message that their plans matter more than yours, that their attention is worth more than your peace. but no more. Reclaiming your time means they don't just get to call, and suddenly you're available. They don't get to pop in whenever they please and find you waiting. Not anymore. So, how do you do it? First, take a look at where your time is going. If you're constantly checking your phone, hoping for their message, stop. If you're clearing your schedule just in case they want to make plans, stop. Start filling your days with things that build you. Invest in yourself. Hit the gym. Take on new projects. Spend time with people who actually value you. Dive into things that make you feel alive. When you fill your time with things that make you better, it's no longer available for people who don't care about it. And here's the secret. People value what they can't easily have. The more you reclaim your time, the more they'll notice you're not always there, not always at their convenience. They'll start wondering, what's keeping you so busy? Why aren't you dropping everything for them anymore? And that's when the tables start to turn. When you start putting value on your own time, others will start to respect it too. But here's the hard part. You're going to feel tempted to go back to old habits. You're going to want to check your messages, jump at the chance to respond, or wait around for their plans. Resist that urge. Remind yourself, my time is mine. If they reach out, you don't have to respond right away. If they want to see you, don't be so quick to say yes. Let them feel the shift. Let them see that your world doesn't revolve around them. If you're trying to attract someone new, this is especially powerful. When they see that your time is valuable and that you're not just waiting around, you'll become someone they respect, someone they want to be around. People are drawn to those who have purpose, direction, and standards. When you're clear about valuing your time, they'll understand that being part of your life is something they have to earn. This isn't about being distant or playing hard to get. This is about living on your terms. You're showing that your life is full, that you're busy building yourself up. It's about creating a life so fulfilling that people naturally want to be part of it. You're not closing yourself off. You're just no longer willing to waste your time on anyone who doesn't value it. Here's your reminder. My time is precious. Say it. Believe it. Make it part of your life. Every time you feel the pull to wait around or prioritize someone else's schedule over your own, remember that. Because your time, it's worth everything. And the moment you start treating it that way, others will too. This is your chance. Reclaim your time, build a life that makes you proud, and watch how people start coming to you instead. Stay with me. This journey is only just beginning, and the real power is coming up next. And folks, we're almost halfway through this video, and if you're still with me, it means this message is resonating with you. So go ahead and hit that like button. It really helps push this message to others who need it too. And I encourage you to stick with me until the end, because today is the day we make some real changes. Stay locked in. Accept this challenge to see it through, and let's finish what we started. Your breakthrough is just around the corner. Number 4, raise your standards. So folks, let's get into the next essential move, raising your standards. This is where you stop allowing half-effort and inconsistency to creep into your life. You stop saying yes to anything that doesn't truly add to your value. Raising your standards is about recognizing that you deserve better and refusing to settle for anything less. Here's the thing. People will give you exactly what you're willing to accept. If you allow minimal effort, if you keep brushing off red flags, if you let things slide when you know they shouldn't, then that's all you're going to get. Every time you settle, you're telling others and yourself that this is all you believe you're worth. But raising your standards, that's a whole different message. It says, I won't accept less than what I know I deserve. And that changes everything. Raising your standards isn't about being difficult or unapproachable. It's about setting clear boundaries. It's about saying, if you're not here to meet me with respect, commitment and effort, then don't bother. And when you do this, you stop wasting time on people who aren't bringing anything meaningful to the table. You're only making space for those who are ready to show up fully, just like you do. Think about it like this. Standards are the boundaries you set around your energy. When you have high standards, you're protecting yourself from people who drain you or don't appreciate your worth. You're building a filter that keeps out anyone who's not bringing real value to your life. This doesn't mean you have to announce it loudly or prove anything to anyone. It's an internal decision, and it shows through your actions, not your words. So, how do you start raising your standards? Start by getting clear on what you actually want. What kind of treatment do you expect? What qualities do you value? Once you're clear on these, you don't bend. If someone is giving you less than what aligns with your standards, you walk away. You don't have to argue or justify it. Just let your standards speak for themselves. They'll see that they need to step up, or they'll have to step out. And yes, this may mean losing a few people along the way. But here's the truth. Anyone who can't meet your standards wasn't adding to your life anyway. Let them go. You're making room for the people who truly value you, who see your worth and are willing to rise to the occasion. Raising your standards is a filter, a powerful way of ensuring that only those who respect you get close. Here's your mantra. I deserve the best, and I won't settle for less. Say it, believe it, live by it. Raising your standards doesn't just improve how others treat you, it boosts your self-worth and reminds you of your own value. You're done accepting anything that doesn't match what you deserve. Stay with me, because this journey is only getting better. Number 5, stop explaining yourself. So folks, here's the next big step. Stop explaining yourself. This is where you reclaim your voice, your decisions, and your peace of mind. It's time to understand that you don't owe anyone an explanation for living life on your terms. Every time you feel the need to explain yourself, you're giving away a piece of your power. You're telling others that you need their approval, that somehow they have the right to question your choices. But here's the truth. They don't. You don't have to justify your actions, your needs, or your boundaries. The more you explain, the more people will feel entitled to push, question, and pry into your life. If you're making a decision, if you're setting a boundary, or if you're simply choosing to do things your way, you don't need to defend it. You don't have to convince anyone why you're not available, why you're focusing on yourself, or why you're making a change. When you stand by your choices without feeling the need to explain, you send a message that your decisions are final, that you trust yourself enough to live unapologetically. Stopping the need to explain doesn't mean being rude or dismissive. It means being clear about what matters to you and letting your actions speak for themselves. Let's say you set a boundary and someone questions it. You don't have to get into a lengthy explanation. A simple, "This is what works for me," is enough. If they respect you, they'll understand. If they don't, it's not your problem. When you stop explaining yourself, you start valuing your own opinion above anyone else's. You're taking back the power to live life on your terms. This isn't about pushing people away. It's about protecting your peace and making it clear that your life isn't up for debate. Here's your reminder. I stand by my choices. Say it, believe it, own it. When you stop explaining yourself, you gain confidence, clarity, and control. You're no longer waiting for someone to validate your path because you know you're on the right one. This is one of the strongest moves you can make on this journey. Stay with me, because the best is yet to come. Number 6. Showcase your growth. So folks, let's talk about the next powerful step, showcasing your growth. This is where you show, not tell, how far you've come. You don't need to brag or spell it out. Instead, let your actions, your mindset, and your whole vibe do the talking. Growth doesn't need a big announcement. It speaks for itself. When you showcase your growth, you're not seeking anyone's approval. You're not trying to win them back or make a point. You're simply showing the world and yourself that you're leveling up. It's about letting people see the real you, the one that's always evolving, pushing forward, and leaving the past behind. Growth is magnetic because it's rare, and when people see you moving upward, it changes how they look at you. Here's the thing. People notice when you're thriving. When they see that you're not the same person they left behind, they start realizing what they took for granted. Suddenly, you're not the person who's always available, always seeking validation, always waiting. Instead, you're focused, confident, and moving with purpose. And trust me, that energy, it's unforgettable. But showcasing growth isn't about posting every little achievement or constantly reminding people of your progress. It's in how you carry yourself, how you respond, how you handle challenges. It's in the way you approach life without hesitation, embracing new opportunities and letting go of what doesn't serve you. This kind of growth isn't loud, it's steady, powerful, and undeniable. So, how do you showcase your growth? Start by living fully. Pursue your goals with passion. Surround yourself with people who lift you up and challenge you. Take care of yourself, physically, mentally, emotionally. And when people come around, let them see that you're not dependent on their validation. You're thriving, with or without them. Here's your affirmation. I am always growing. Say it, believe it, make it part of your journey. When you commit to your growth, you're unstoppable. You become someone others respect and admire. Someone who's moved past the need for outside approval. Remember, this isn't about them. It's about you becoming the best version of yourself. Keep pushing forward because, as you grow, the right people will take notice. And those who don't, they were never meant to be part of your journey. Number 7. Master the power of no. So folks, here's one of the most liberating moves you can make, mastering the power of no. This is about taking back control of your time, your energy, and your boundaries. It's about realizing that every time you say yes to something that doesn't serve you, you're saying no to yourself. Think about how often you've said yes to things you didn't want, agreed to plans you weren't excited about, or went along with something just to keep the peace. Every one of those yeses cost you a piece of your own energy. When you say yes out of guilt, obligation, or fear of judgment, you're not being true to yourself. But learning to say no is a powerful shift. It shows that you respect yourself enough to protect your time and only give it to what truly matters. Mastering no isn't about pushing people away. It's about setting boundaries that preserve your peace. Saying no doesn't make you selfish. It makes you selective. You're saying, I value myself, and I don't have endless energy to give to everyone. And guess what? The people who truly value you will understand. They'll respect you for standing up for yourself because they know it takes strength to honor your boundaries. When you start saying no to what doesn't serve you, you create space for what truly does. You're no longer stretched thin, worn out, or resentful. Instead, you're focused, energized, and intentional with where you invest your time and effort. So, how do you master the power of no? Start small. The next time you're asked to do something that feels draining or pointless, politely decline. Keep it simple. Thanks, but I'm focusing on other things right now. No need to over-explain. The more you say no to what doesn't align with your goals, the easier it becomes. You'll start seeing how much freedom comes from standing your ground. Here's your affirmation. I protect my energy. Say it, believe it, make it your own. Saying no isn't a rejection of others. It's a commitment to yourself. And as you master this, you'll notice a shift. You'll feel more in control, more confident, and more empowered. Stay with me, because this journey is about building a life that respects you first. The power of no is just one more step toward becoming unstoppable. Number 8, embody emotional independence. So folks, let's dive into one of the most empowering steps, embodying emotional independence. This is where you stop relying on anyone else to make you feel whole. You stop waiting for someone to give you happiness, validation, or a sense of peace. Instead, you take full ownership of your own emotional world. Emotional independence means that your feelings, your mood, your sense of self-worth, they're all within your control. You're not looking outside yourself for someone to complete you or make you feel valued. You're grounded, secure, and self-reliant. And when you reach this place, people can sense it. They know you're not looking to be rescued, validated, or reassured because you've already got that strength within. Here's the beauty of emotional independence. When you own your happiness, no one can take it from you. You're no longer shaken by someone's opinion, affection, or absence. You're no longer a puppet to someone else's approval or rejection. Emotional independence means you're in control of your reactions, your peace, and your perspective. And that level of self-assurance is magnetic. So, how do you start embodying emotional independence? Begin by recognizing that only you are responsible for your emotions. When something bothers you, instead of looking outward, ask yourself, how can I handle this for my own peace? Spend time nurturing yourself through activities, passions, and goals that make you feel alive. Build a life where your happiness doesn't depend on anyone else. Remember, this doesn't mean shutting others out. Emotional independence isn't about avoiding relationships or isolating yourself. It's about entering connections from a place of strength rather than need. It means you can enjoy relationships fully while knowing that you're still whole on your own. When you embody emotional independence, people will see a different side of you. They'll see someone confident, steady, and self-assured. Someone who doesn't need constant attention or validation. You're not shaken by their actions because you're rooted in your own stability. And that kind of independence, it draws people in because they see you as someone who's truly comfortable in their own skin. Here's your mantra. I am in control of my emotions. Say it, believe it, live by it. Emotional independence is freedom. It's knowing that no one has the power to make or break your happiness. This journey is about building a foundation so strong that no one can shake it. And when you get there, you'll feel unstoppable. Stay with me, because we're just one step away from the final transformation. Number 9, command attention, don't seek it. So folks, here we are at the final and most powerful step, commanding attention instead of seeking it. This is where you shift from looking for approval to naturally attracting it. You don't need to chase anyone's validation because your presence, your confidence, and your energy speak for themselves. Commanding attention isn't about being loud, flashy, or over the top. It's about walking into a room and owning it, calmly, confidently, and unapologetically. You're not trying to impress, you're simply comfortable in who you are. People are naturally drawn to those who are sure of themselves, to those who don't need external approval to feel valuable. That's what makes commanding attention so powerful. You're not chasing it, you're simply living in a way that draws others in. When you command attention, you're no longer concerned about who's watching, who's impressed, or who's interested. You're living on your own terms, following your own path, and that energy is magnetic. People sense that you're not seeking anyone's validation, and that's what makes them want to know more. They see you're secure, that you have standards, that you value yourself, and they're intrigued. How do you start commanding attention? First, focus on yourself, your goals, your growth, your passions. Live a life that's so fulfilling that you don't have time to worry about who's watching. Spend time becoming the best version of yourself and let your progress speak for itself. When you're genuinely living a life you're proud of, people will naturally take notice. And remember, commanding attention isn't about showing off. It's about letting your actions, your words, and your mindset show who you truly are. It's about being consistent, grounded, and purposeful in everything you do. You're no longer seeking to be noticed. You're simply being your authentic self, and that authenticity commands respect. Here's your reminder. I am my own validation. Say it, believe it, let it guide you. You don't need others to confirm your worth, because you already know it. When you carry yourself with this quiet confidence, people will be drawn to you without you ever having to seek their attention. So, as we wrap up this journey, remember, you're here to live fully, freely, and confidently. Command attention by being true to yourself and let everything else fall into place. This is your life. Live it in a way that commands respect, draws admiration, and needs no external approval. You've made it, and this transformation is just the beginning of the life you deserve. Thank you for joining me on this powerful journey of reclaiming your worth and stepping into true confidence. Remember, you've come a long way, and each step brings you closer